Hello, Garrett at Team Centric here doing a quick video for you guys. I've been working on this deck, trying to make it most consistent as possible. I'm trying to bring it back. It's topped a few regional events, and then the deck kind of died. Wind up Inzektors. It kind of just disappeared, and I've been working on making it as consistent as possible. I was looking at some of the builds that were winning, and I feel like nobody's really worked on making this deck more consistent. I feel like the deck has so much more potential than people give it. Pure windups are just, they die after turn 3. Like, once turn 3 is over with, you have no more plays. And how do you come out of that? And, like, I just feel like the deck's really bad. Inzektors, they're too easy to side against, and I like windup Inzektors better because game 2, if you went first and you dropped 10 game 2, or game 1, and then game 2 comes, and they don't have an out to your first turn windup loop, they lose again. So it's really, like, it's a really tough matchup for your opponent. They got to play it really smart, and when you're running a bunch of back row destruction, it doesn't really matter what they open up for your outs. Like, skill drain really hurts this deck, but you run cards that obviously evade the skill drain if they're maining it, because you run 5 back row destruction, or 6 actually. But other than that, hold on, let me run through the deck for you. Now, I just don't like really any other build, and I feel like I've actually like made this deck like pretty good. I don't know if I haven't seen any builds like mine, so I'll run down through it really quick. You run Trip Tour Guide. Hold on, let me take the single cards out. You run Trip Tour Guide. This with Shark equals Instants and Mighty, and that is a solid play. And then I like Tour Guide because you can get the Sangan if you have your wind up play already done and you need the Hornet, and Sangan search Hornet. I mean, it's overall like a good play. Sangan, I like it over Torbus in this deck. Yeah, you can get the extra pop with Zen Mighty, but this deck runs the Inzektor engine, and if you don't draw Hornet after your wind-up loop, there's no point in even trying to win the game. So you need the cards that'll help you get your plays off faster, and I believe Sangan is a really good level 3 to do that for you. Spear Reaper, basically your like sitting duck, just sits there. It's good against Dino Rabbit. Like, so it's good to play at least one in the main deck. I usually set it, and they'll set like back rows and like monster like a Sangan. What I like to do is I like to Heavy Storm, flip Reaper, summon something like Tour Guide, get Tour Guide, go into Zen Mighty, get a Hunter swing over their defense, and then Spear Reaper, pop a card in hand. And then do your loop, and essentially it's like running Torbus, only I like this over Torbus a lot better. And I mean, it's not really accessible through the deck, but I'd rather draw into a Spear Reaper than having the chance of drawing into a Torbus. Just my opinion. Your windups. Trip Rat. Sorry about the glare. I'm trying to fold the cards over a little bit. Trip Rat. Essential to the windup loop. That card is the windup loop. Single Hunter. And what I haven't seen people run in wind-up Inzektors is Triple Shark. Why not run this card? You drop it off the Tour Guides and Mighty play, and you have the loop. Why not run it? And this card overall is really good. If you make doubles and Mighty after loop and finish your playoff and go Giga Brilliant, make an 1800s and Mighty, and they don't have the Dark Hole or something, you detach 2 again, bring out 2 Sharks, make them level 5s, and then go into Adrius. Or like if you don't have 2 Sharks in your deck, you bring out like the Rat, make it level 4, leave this level 4, go into Utopia. So I mean, essentially it creates a lot of plays for the deck to use, and I enjoy the play. That's your windups. That's it. Simple. 3 Dragonfly, 3 Centipede, and 3 Hornet. You have to run those cards. I like 3, 3, and 3. Because sometimes I find myself summoning Dragonfly, equipping Centipede, and MSTing it. And then I'll search the Hornet, and then I'll overlay into Zen Mighty, and then Hunter, and then pop a card in hand, because essentially it's not necessarily a minus if you have an Inzektor heavy hand and you really need the Hornet. So I like plays like that. It's pretty crazy. I don't like the Gigamantis. I used to play the Gigamantis. It has not done me any greatness. Like, yeah, the Inzektor OTK every once in a while, but I like to make sure my deck sticks consistent to the loop, and then, Inzektor plays afterwards. And I feel like the Gigamantis helped with the loop, but not when I needed it. Like it never, it helped me get the loop later game, but usually if I didn't get the loop early game, or if I didn't use my loop at all, there was no need for it. I didn't need to use it, so there's no point in me running Gigamantis in the deck. And then 2 Hand Traps is 2 Veilers, no Maxis. 2 Veilers is perfect. Running 3, I just flooded my hand, and against heroes or something stupid like that, I can't afford to have the Veilers in hand. I need a good first game against heroes, because essentially they don't have that many outs to my Inzektor or my wind-up plays. So once I clear their back row. Foolish for the Hunter. Foolish is really situational. If you have the Dragonfly and the Hornet, you Foolish the Hunter. If you don't have the Hornet and Grave, you Foolish the Hornet. It just all depends on what your hand's looking like. Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Avarice, best card of the deck. Allure, all the 1-ofs, and Heavy Storm, and Trip MST. You gotta run them. You need to clear the back row, get your loop off, hope they don't have the Veiler. If they have the Veiler, drop the double shark and surprise the shit out of them, and then go from there. Going straight from the MSTs, I run Double Dust. I really like this card because I have times where I set the dusts, and they'll set 2 back row, and I'll open up Double Dust, and I'll set 1 dust. Instead of having to set both like an MST, I set 1 dust, and I can risk it against the heavy, because I'm not going to be as scared of it. When they play heavy, it's whatever. If they don't have the heavy and they set 2 back rows and end, you end phase Dust Tornado, set your Dust Tornado from hand, and then you dust in your draw phase. So you knock out 2 of their cards without risking of setting both dusts or both MSTs and getting them heavy. So that's why I like the card. You run, sorry about the dog barking, by the way. You run Double Warning and Judgment. You have to. I don't know a deck that doesn't, unless they're running Decrees, or, you know, I just don't see why not. I really don't like Judgment this format, but it's almost like I have to run it, because if I don't get my playoff, I need the Judgment to negate anything. Like, I need cards that negate anything. If I could run 3 Judgments, I'd run 3, no matter how much I hated the card, because I have to get the playoff. 2 Torrentials and 2 Fiendish Chains. Right now, I'm considering on taking Torrentials out, because, like, whenever I have cards on the field, on the board, I need those cards to stay on the board, because that's essentially what's going to take me into all my plays. But the only thing I really fear against this deck is like something like a Thunder King. Like, me getting over a Thunder King is not very easy. I'm going to have to force the exceed, but that's the only reason why I run Torrentials. I'm almost tempted to take the Torrentials out of the deck for something like a Bottomless Trap Hole, which I feel would be way more consistent right now. Yeah, it sucks when you're not going first and they get the Thunder King out and they don't summon anymore, and then, you know, Torrential's versatile to where you could summon and play Torrential and not have to wait for, you know, it's just better overall, even though I hate to admit I don't really like the card at all. Alright, well, that pretty much sums up the video. I'm just, you know, trying to get you guys some videos up. We're going to be posting some commentary vids really soon. Hopefully get you guys viewing our videos again. We have, I believe, like 30 subscribers. I'm hoping to get that count up. YCS Chicago's coming up. We'll be going there. We'll have live coverage from ASEN, YCS. Maybe get some famous YouTubers up on our channel. And some interviews and go from there. Alrighty, Team Eccentric out. Keep watching. Stay tuned.